Hi, I don't know what happened.
You can hear me? I don't know, we lost each other.
Me about
Okay, good.
yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. So the other pointer to have a balanced meal in a day is to remember that, make sure that you have all 7 colors of your rainbow. So make sure you have your purple for your purple cabbage or your blueberries or your grapes, so you have your oranges from your carrots or your pumpkin, and you have your yellows and your greens. So once you've had, try to make sure you've had that, like have your cauliflower, broccoli. So have a good balance so you know that all your nutrients are taken care of through your vegetables. Yeah.
Great point. Now, I want to also ask you, Manji, this is something I think about quite often is what about health, the topic like we discussed, healthy eating in a healthy mind. So I noticed that a lot of food brings down my mood. When I eat something, I just feel that day I know I've eaten something wrong because it's just not a good day. So what's your take on the correlation between your mind and eating healthy?
Okay, so, when we talk about this, the most important thing to talk about is gut health. So our gut is actually our second brain. 90% of the diseases are caused by a leaky gut syndrome. So if we take care of our gut, we will get rid of all our diseases, and mainly our brain will function better, right? So if our brain is functioning better, then you feel really good. So in Ayurveda, the seat of Vata is navel down, which is where your gut is. Okay. So if your gut is imbalanced, or if your Vata is imbalanced, it will cause stress, anxiety, nervousness. It will cause Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, any brain related diseases, everything. So Vata imbalance goes directly to the brain.
Yeah.
That's why we need to take care of our gut. And if we don't have good bacteria and if food doesn't get digested in our gut, then it goes into our into our intestine, and there the undigested food then creates a lot more problems. And so everything comes from our gut. So if we have a good gut, we will feel good in our mind, and that is what is a relation between the gut and the mind. And we all should aim for a very healthy gut with good gut flora, with good bacteria in our gut. And the way to get good bacteria is from fermented foods, from probiotics. And there's something called prebiotics that we can talk about later on the show that help you with your gut bacteria as well.
Awesome. And, another thing is like right now, the thing is everyone says, I want an immunity booster. How do I boost my immunity? Because of coronavirus, we're all sitting at home. It's tough. Right now, you're not even getting vitamin D. You're not even going out. But do you suggest any natural immunity boosters rather than taking all these pills? And say for kids even, at home, what is the one thing that we can eat in our foods which will help?
So there's not one thing, Shan, unfortunately, that you can do. There are plenty of things that we can do to build our immunity, and we need to do a little bit of everything so that we have a balanced immunity rather than just try and make one aspect really spike up. So turmeric is huge. Okay, so have turmeric with a little bit of black pepper. Now turmeric is a fat soluble vitamin, fat soluble ingredient. So you need to have it with fat. It will not get absorbed in our body with water. So you need to have it either with a drop of ghee or with a drop of coconut oil. Or that's why we saute ghee or turmeric in our Indian food. We always roast it and cook it because of that property. So turmeric is very important to include, and not only in our vegetables, but have it raw with the ghee and with the black pepper. What I do is that I just get fresh turmeric. You're getting it in the market. Just chop it up and put it in lime juice along with ginger. And then when I'm having it with my meal, I just put some freshly ground black pepper. Then I have it along with my food. So my food already has fat in it. You're having it with your dal or your vegetables or your roti. So there's already fat in it. So when you're consuming it, then it gets absorbed in your body well. So turmeric is one. Secondly is nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds contain something called zinc. Our body needs zinc in very small traces. And if we don't have zinc, our immunity will not get charged. So we all can do anything we want to get our immunity cells, to get good cells in our body. But if till zinc doesn't charge it, it won't get activated. It won't know when it has to work. So that's why we need zinc in even in tiny traces, and it comes from nuts and seeds. So nuts and seeds is very important to include, and you must soak your nuts. Body cannot digest raw nuts. It has to be soaked, and the skin has to be removed from your nuts. So try to soak them overnight.
That's a great
and
tip,
seeds
actually,
also you should just have seeds if you want. You can have it soaked, or you can have it direct also. And you know what? Like, get creative with your seeds. So what I do is I sprinkle it on things, or I just mix it with some moody for the children, or I powder it and add it to a roti, like flaxseed. I added to my roti. That, you know, so there are lots of various ways of doing that, especially for children, so that you make sure that they get their nutrients. It's very difficult to get them to eat seeds just like in its raw form. They'll be like, what is this?
Yeah.
So
and flaxseed especially, I don't think even I would not pick up just flaxseed and have it in a spoon. So I know exactly what you mean. I think that's a great way is to powder it and put it in your rotis.
Yes.
That's great.
So nuts, seeds, turmeric, and ghee. Ghee is very, very good for immunity as well. It's excellent. I don't know why we stay away from ghee. It's good fat, which helps you lose your fat as well as take care of, you know, we need fat to line our organs so that our organs don't get damaged. So the good fat lines our organs. In fact, if you have bad fat and that lines the organs, then that leads to a lot of diseases like, you know, liver issues or kidney issues. It's a fat around the organs. So, so good fat is what is important.
We have to be very careful in every other way. I also want to ask you, Manjri, of course, something that I've dealt with for a very long time, you know, and I've tried to actually check. I mean, I think in the last 2 years I've gotten better, I can say. But let's talk about emotional eating. I think this is a very big one for a lot of people. You know, emotional eating, and people often tend to just binge and then not eat at all, and then binge, and then you're eating the wrong foods. So what's your take on this? How is it something that we can stop?
So emotional eating happens when you really stop yourself or deprive yourself from eating something. If you are craving something, have a small bite of it, but you need a lot of willpower to stop at that small bite. If you want to have a piece of cake or a piece of chocolate, have a tiny bite. Because if you've had that, then you've satiated that craving of yours, and then you will not binge eat. And the other problem with binge eating is that, you know, you're not having a meal at the right time of the day. If you make sure that you have your lunch at a particular time, you make sure you have a snack at a particular time, and then you have dinner at a particular time, you will not be hungry. Your body is used to releasing your digestive juices, your HCl, your acid, or your saliva at a particular time of the day, because it's used to getting those meals at that time. But if you're not eating, you're eating at random times, and you're not following a specific schedule of your meal times, you will binge eat, because then you're just hungry and you're like calling for like food. Your body is just asking for food because you've not eaten anything. So that's something that, you know, we should be mindful about. And yes, emotional eating is, again, you know, don't multitask while eating. Be mindful when you're eating. Eat only your food. Don't be on your phone. Don't watch TV. Be in a good conversation with family and friends. That will help you connect to your mind and your hunger. And then you will know when you are full. Otherwise, you don't realize you're just eating and you're mindless. You're not mindful while you're eating. You're mindless because it's not connected. There is no connection to your hunger and your brain. And if we just connect, trust me, all of us will eat as much as we're required to eat. If we just connect to our brain and brain.
We won't overeat.
Yeah.
No, those are great points. And somebody has mentioned that they keep nuts and seeds by their bedside. I always eat dry fruits and keep it by my bedside table when I feel like eating junk or emotional eat. Is that a good way to? Is that something good to do?
So dry fruits should always be soaked. That's the only thing. So, you know, just by eating it dry like that, it's going to be difficult for your body to digest, especially at night. So, that is, I think seeds would be a better snack rather than dry fruits. You know, have a trail mix, like a mix of seeds that you can always like nibble on if you're hungry. Yeah, that will be much better.
Okay, that's a good point. The other thing is, is there anything in your list where you say, I'm avoiding this completely? I will not eat this food. So is there something like that on your healthy eating list?
Yes, fried food and refined sugar and refined flour. These are things that I don't cook with. I don't have it at home. I mean, the kids have sugar sometimes if they want to bake a cake, and I'm trying to substitute it with lots of other options. But I don't eat it, and I don't fry at home. Like, we don't put the kadhai. I don't do it. I just don't do it. Yeah, not at all. I haven't
That's
done it in
amazing.
8 months. I gave it up in December on my birthday, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. And it's been 8 months, and I haven't missed it. Now, when I see fried food, I don't even get tempted at all. In fact, I'm just thinking about the trans fat that's going in my body, and because I don't do it at home, and automatically it's limited for the children and the family as well. From me, like they don't eat it that much. And refined flour as well. Try and minimize as much as possible the refined flour, because all these things create a leaky gut. Refined oil, yeah, I don't use refined oil either. So it's all cold pressed oil or ghee that I use at home for cooking and for everything. Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's
anything
a
that has
huge shift.
refined in it, we should remove that from our kitchens, from our diets.
For an Indian home, that's a huge shift for you, right?
Yes. It is.
We
It
are
is
so used to
difficult.
just putting oil in a pan and frying everything, or not even
Yeah.
frying, but you just use a lot of big like oil.
Yeah. And especially because we have staff at home, cooks, who are making our food, and also it's very difficult for a lot of ladies. A lot of my friends say it's so difficult to train the staff. These Maharajas have been in the homes for so long, and you're living with elderly people also. They have a certain food habit, so it's very difficult to change it sometimes. But make small changes. You don't have to do the whole gamut of things overnight. It doesn't happen like that. But just decide that, okay, today one vegetable I'm going to make in mustard oil and not in the regular oil, or one vegetable I'm going to make in coconut oil, or one vegetable we're going to make in ghee. Just start with small changes, and that will make all the difference. Slowly, you'll start making the entire meal in a different oil, automatically. But it will all have to take small steps at a time, but you have to take that step forward.
Yeah, that is the
Just
one
because you
step you
feel
take.
overwhelmed, yeah, you get overwhelmed, and then you don't want to take that one step forward. So
Absolutely, that's well said. So the other thing I want to also ask you is, what about times of eating? Like you mentioned in Ayurveda, they say eat according to the regular body clock.
yeah,
Not body clock, but like the world clock. So when
the
it
sun,
turns dark,
yeah,
there's the sun. So they say don't eat after.
yeah,
But according
yeah.
to you, what is it? Is it a particular time that you should eat or not eat, or what do you do?
So I start my day early. I wake up very early, so I start my day with a glass of hot water with me.
Yeah.
And that helps make your body alkaline after your previous night meal. And then and then you can have a fruit by 9 o'clock. So fruit should always be eaten before 5 o'clock, because fruits digest very quickly, and they should be eaten as possible and on an empty stomach, because they have to. It's like first in, first out, right? If you've eaten a heavy meal and then had fruit, the food will digest in 1 hour, and the food will take around 4 to 5 hours to digest. So the food is already digested and sitting and rotting, because it can't pass down the intestine, and your other food is just taking its time. So always have fruit in the first half of the day and before a meal, never after a meal. So have a fruit, and then I have my biggest meal in the day is my lunch. And that's between 12 and 2, because your digestive fire is at its highest. The agni that we say, the digestive fire, is at its peak between 12 and 2. So anyone wants to have any high carb, anything, have it at lunch.
Okay.
And that's why we have our Indian meal I have an Indian meal at lunch, because I feel that you tend to, like, even if the family overeats or whatever, like, at least you have the rest of the day, then the digestive fires are the highest at that time. So so 12 to 2 is your biggest meal, and then give it a gap of another 3 hours. By then your food is digested, and you can have a fruit if you're hungry, have a green tea, have like chana or something if you're really hungry, and then finish your meal by we finish eating by 7:15. Ayurveda says to finish eating by 6. So I think I stretch it till 7 because the sun is still setting now. But yeah, so we finish eating by 7:15, and then we don't eat anything after that. And then it's like until the next day. And sometimes I do intermittent fasting, and then I have only lunch the next day.
Wow, and your kids also finish by 7:15.
Yeah, the kids also. This is a habit that since they were small, I inculcated that they eat by 7:15, and then nothing till breakfast the next day. So they automatically are doing 14 hours of fasting on its own, like naturally, without realizing.
That's amazing.
So it's good. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
At 10 years old, that's commendable. They're not snacking.
They don't even realize it. It's become part of life now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a great habit. Yeah, it's a great habit.
You inculcated it early, I think.
Yes. I hope it lasts.
Also. We have a question from Aarti Mathur, who says groundnut cold press is okay, the oil?
Yes, it's fine. Yes, that's fine. As long as it's not refined, anything cold press is good. In fact, groundnut oil has a high smoking point, so it's good to use for Indian food. olive oil, sesame oil. Some of the oils are not good for Indian cooking because they don't have a high smoking point.
Okay, so Aarti cooks a lot actually, and Aarti, so Manjri puts up great recipes. In fact, guys, you have to check out her a blog which is Big Plate Small Plate, because you get all the recipes there, and she puts up everything she cooks. So if you love your food and you know you want tips, just DM Manjri, and that's the best way to get in touch with her.
Yes.
I also want to ask you. Somebody says Pixel on Paper says tips for an extremely acidic body.
So extremely acidic body needs alkaline food, and that is from your fruits, vegetables. You know, start with having hot water with lemon in the morning. That will automatically like alkaline your body immediately. Please don't have food after 7 o'clock, because that's when your indigestion, your acidity starts, because you have late night food and that's not digested, because our metabolic fire actually dies after the sun sets. So whatever food you have will not get digested, and only the digestion process will again start the next day morning when the sun has risen. And actually your body works like that. Yeah. So you have undigested food in your body, and that is what is giving you the acidity, the acid reflux and all of that. And try and include fermented food, because that will increase your gut bacteria and that will increase your digestion powers. So fermented food will is important, and probiotics are important to incorporate.
So what causes the acidic body causes terrible headaches?
Yeah. So that's because of the toxins. You're right. You have a vata imbalance, so everything moves up. The air inside is moving up because your gut is not strong enough to deal with it. It's very leaky. So everything is then going up and is giving you that indigestion and the bloating, and that automatically goes up to your head and it's giving you headaches. If you start having a lot of water as well, water is very good for headaches and dealing with acidity also. So okay. and include lots of green vegetables, like that will also help alkalize your body. So make sure you have lots and lots of green vegetables, and cut out all refined food as much as possible. Sorry, there's just so much you can do, and I can go on and on talking about.
Really, there's so much you can, and I feel like it's so good because you can naturally cure everything. I think that you don't have to go to medication for everything. You just have to know what can help you, and that's exactly what you're doing.
So right, Shan. It's like if we don't make food our medicine, then medicine will be our food, and that's a line for Ayurveda. Yeah. People are having so many tablets every single day, so you know we have to reduce that.
Absolutely. We also have a question from Chaitya, who says, should you be leaving tea or coffee completely or restrict it?
So if you're having it with sugar, that is what is not good for you when you're adding tea to your coffee, or your sugar to your tea and coffee. So if you can have tea and coffee without sugar, that's one thing. The other thing is dairy that you add. That is also creates a lot of acidity for a lot of people, because the combination sometimes doesn't work, and it's the quality of milk that you have. So try and have your teas and coffee black, because they're much better for you to digest as well. Coffee, the caffeine is very strong. Caffeine actually blocks the growth of bone health. It prevents the absorption of calcium in our body. So our bones store calcium, and they need it to stay strong. And if you have too much caffeine, so you could have maybe a cup in a day. I think that should be fine, but stick to black coffee. And the best thing to have is green teas, and all these herbal teas that we have. There's so much variety, and we can make so many like spice teas, and you know all these immunity boosters with your cinnamon and black pepper and star anise. You know, you can make concoctions out of these. So they're great substitutes. You know, you just have to get the hang of it. And you start enjoying it. Moringa tea, chamomile, anything, any of these flower teas. So, you know, maybe you can start off with just reducing your number of cups that you're having, and substitute it with a herbal tea or a green tea.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We have a question also from Binge the Wonder, who says, Binge then Wonder, raw vegetables in the form of salads or cooked ones like sabzis. What do you recommend?
Yeah, so raw vegetables, like if I really talk about Ayurveda doesn't really promote having raw vegetables. It says that our body has to work harder to digest raw vegetables and cook vegetables.
Yeah.
So why put that pressure on your body, on your stomach, to digest raw vegetables? And even if you have to have raw vegetables, you should have it in that time between 12 and 2, and have it just before your lunch. So half an hour before your lunch, you can have your salad. Cannot hear me, Shan?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but maybe just move a little closer. It's become a bit faint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this better?
Way better. Yeah. I hope you all can hear her. Okay. Just let us know. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So So if you're having raw vegetables, then you should have it just before your lunch. So that, that's the time when your digestive fire is the highest and it's naturally helping the digestion. Nighttime will give you acidity if you have raw vegetables, because it will, get much harder for the body to digest raw vegetables.
Okay. So yeah,
I would say have
subsidies,
earlier part of the day.
Yeah. Earlier part of the day, otherwise.
And even fruits, I would say, our fruit should never be consumed after 5 p.m. because again, it digests within an hour and it will rot in your stomach later on. So, and fruit should only be had on an empty stomach. So after your lunch, when you've given a 3-hour gap, basically your stomach is empty. So that's when you should have your fruit. You should never have it just after a meal or something. It's not a good time to have it.
Okay, great. So I also want to ask you, you mentioned that you do intermittent fasting and your kids are technically doing it as well. But what are the benefits of intermittent? Is it something that you recommend highly to us as well?
So intermittent fasting has like immense benefit. And one of the most important things that it kills are free radical cells. So what happens, and I'm going to just take a few minutes to explain what our body, how it functions. Our liver stores glycogen, and that glycogen they're getting from all the sugar that we're eating, any carbs that we're eating. Everything has glucose, right? So they've drawn the glycogen from the foods that we've eaten, especially for energy, and they've stored it in the liver. Now, the liver can store glycogen up to 14 hours. After 14 hours, your liver is depleted of any glycogen. So then what does your body do for energy, because you're not getting energy from the liver? So then it starts eating on the fat cells and starts getting energy from your fat cells. And those are the toxic cells, the free radical cells. So automatically you're killing those free radical cells, which are disease causing. At the same time, they are fat, like there's the fat around the organs. So you automatically start losing weight, start becoming leaner because your fat cells are getting consumed for energy. So the longer you fast, after 14 hours, that's when your actual fat burning and toxin loss is happening. Your free radical cells. So that is how intermittent fasting works. Now, during intermittent fasting, you should not have anything that that needs digestion. So you can't have any sugar, you can't have any food. It is literally just green tea, water, hot water. Literally like just these things, because your body doesn't need to digest it. So it's actually doing the job that it's supposed to of detoxification. And in Sattvic movement, they say that our body can either do digestion or detoxification. It cannot do both. So if you've given your body a break from digestion, then it can actually detox and repair your organs. And actually that's the time when everything is happening. Your body is getting that fresh energy. Otherwise it's so busy digesting, it's not getting a time to detox only. So that's why fasting is very important, and to give your body a break from just digesting food. We're constantly eating and the body is constantly working and not really able to digest anything.
Yeah, that's true.
The detox is very important, and one of the good things to have in your detox for detox is like, so when you want to break a fast, you can have like a ash god juice, which is very good for detox, and even beetroot is actually very good for detoxification of the liver. So if you have beetroot juice, then that really works as well.
Wow. Okay, somebody is asking, so if you take green tea during your fasting window, it's okay?
Yes, green tea is fine without sugar, without anything. Just plain green tea is absolutely fine, or any herbal tea, as long as you're not eating anything and your stomach doesn't need to digest anything. It's fine.
And I guess if you're not making a tea with milk, that's absolutely not allowed.
Yes, you can't have any milk. No,
you can't have anything like that. Okay, so I want to ask you also. A lot of people say we are what we eat. So, okay, so are you there, Manjri?
Getting a call. I'm sorry. Yeah, can you hear?
Okay. No problem. So, yeah. So a lot of people.
There's one more question. Thank you for answering my previous question. Yogurt is best in what form? Just plain or buttermilk or raita? So buttermilk is the best way of having yogurt because the fermentation process is killed when you've added water to it. So and then it's also considered shadrasa. So when you add those spices, like when you roast heat ghee and you add mustard seeds and cumin seeds and hing and green chilies and all of that, that gives you shadrasa, which is basically the main 6 tastes in Ayurveda. And all our meals should have a balance of all these 6 tastes. And then you won't have any imbalance of anything in your body if you have a balance of these 6 tastes of shadrasa. So buttermilk is actually very good to have post your meal. Just like say 15 minutes after your meal, if you have a glass of buttermilk, it will really help you alkalize as well and prevent any like acidity or any bloating or anything.
Awesome. Okay, somebody's also asked how important is curd in our everyday diet?
So curd is important for the good bacteria that it gives. If you're taking it from other forms like the good bacteria, then it's okay to omit. If you're not, and especially if you're lactose intolerant, then you can omit curd. But the reason why we have it in Indian food is as a probiotic. Okay. It's the best form of probiotic in our Indian kitchen.
I am saving this to our IGTV, so don't worry about that. If somebody's asked that, in case you missed this, I will be saving this. I'm going to ask you, before I ask you a little bit more about Big Plate Small Plate, because I'm very keen to know about the business and the blog. Is the last thing I want to ask you is, what are your thoughts on energy drinks? Because I know this, a lot of people say a big no. Even you are shaking.
Not at all.
Yeah, not
at all. Yeah. Stay away. They're full of sugar. It's packaged. So anything that's packaged has to have preservatives in it. It is not possible. Anything that has a longer shelf life, that's another saying, okay? Anything that has a longer shelf life will reduce your shelf life.
Oh, wow. You really have the good one. So let's go with that. Whatever has a longer shelf life reduces your shelf life. And the other one was eat a plant, not what's made in a plant.
Yeah. That was and if food is... If medicine, if you don't make food your medicine, then medicine will be your food.
Then medicine will be your food. That's a great one as well. So So don't always go for medicines. Always eat healthy, fresh vegetables. Rather than just I'll tell you something, Manjri. Actually, from my personal experience, in the last 2 years, I've started working out a lot more, and I started eating healthier. And I used to have a very, very bad period. I used to always be in pain. I used to be a person always laid up in bed. But last 6 months, I made a change to my diet. And I made a change to my workout. And I haven't taken a single pill during my entire cycle.
Wow.
So that is a true...
Kudos to you. Very well done. Very, very well done. Excellent job. So and you must be feeling great, right?
I feel great, and I'm not over-medicating myself. So I think that's another great thing. I think you're right.
That's wonderful.
Why fill your body with medication when you can just eat right and
and I can see in your skin is glowing because of your diet and you're working out. So when you work out, your pores open up, it removes toxins. So automatically the natural glow comes. You don't need to put any skincare, like all those beauty products. We don't need it.
We don't need
all those expensive creams. Honestly, if we just maintain our lifestyle, we'll all have great hair and skin as well.
Absolutely. In fact, a lot of people are messaging asking for your buttermilk ingredients. If you want to repeat that once.
Sure. I can repeat it, and that's going to be on my page as well. So you just create a temper. So you heat a little bit of ghee. You add cumin seeds, which is jeera, and you add mustard seeds, which is rye, and you add a little bit of hing, which is asafoetida. You can add green chilies if you like, or you can even add ginger if you like. And then you just put that on top of the buttermilk and lots of coriander leaves.
Okay, lovely. That sounds yum. So that's very good.
So instead of coriander leaves, sometimes I even put moringa powder or mint leaves. You can be experimental with the herbs that you're putting in.
Awesome. Manjri, you've been so nice with sharing all the details of what we should do, what we shouldn't do, and it's so real because it's literally what you said. You'll find them in your kitchen. You enter, and everything's available. But I also want to ask you about Big Plate, Small Plate. What are the future plans with it, and what are you doing right now that we can, our viewers can know more about? Like, how do they engage with you?
Sure. So I'm doing a lot of organizations are asking me to do a lot of healthy cooking shows. So I've been doing a lot of teaching on Zoom for people through organizations. So I haven't started classes yet, but I will get there. My son is actually going to boarding school next month. So I just want to not really cramp up my time with so much. But once he's going to have more free time, then I do want to start online classes, which is separate. Right now, I'm just doing it for closed groups when they ask me to. And then I'm putting up a lot of IGTVs, a lot of videos. So on Wednesdays, we have something called Wellness Wednesdays, where I talk about one small habit that can be incorporated in your day. I started off with exercising, meditation. I started off with intermittent fasting. I spoke about having green tea. Then the different things are coming up on Wellness Wednesdays. I'm putting up a lot of recipes. I am actually working on a book also on my recipes. So it's going to be something with Ayurveda. And so what I like is because I've studied Ayurveda, I'm a health coach from IIN from New York. So I think all these teachings of the Western and is so much similarity, but putting everything together and then creating food that is for the Indian kitchen, that is something I want to focus on. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you're really
And
doing a good job.
especially also for families and for families as well. I think, for that is something suitable for kids and for adults and for the older generation. I think, as a family as a whole sometimes.
Yeah. And your food looks amazing. Like when I see what you put up,
Thank
it
you.
looks delicious. But like, I don't know if I could ever enter the kitchen to make that. I don't even know how to make rice. But
No, but you will learn.
Yeah.
There's so many home chefs that have really sprung up. Like this master chefs is gonna get like lots of entries. But it's so great because I'm such a big fan and a huge believer of home cooking. And I don't know why I think it's a dying art. And unfortunately in India, we're one of those rare countries that we have the facilities to have home cooked food and to cook food. But it's really reducing. So I really want to promote home cooking and for mothers, if you can, for ladies, for boys, for all family to get into the kitchen and cook because of fun that you have around it. I think it's immense, and you're getting all your health needs. It's it's much healthier than eating outside food. So I think it's I'm really trying to promote home cooking and healthy eating through my page as well. So I want to simplify cooking.
Right. Yeah, what you said is so right because at the beginning of this lockdown, I realized how many people who the menu and WhatsApped it to everyone, and I think that's so nice because why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Absolutely.
So
wonderful talent.
Different people.
Wonderful talent that came out. So really good. Yeah.
But so lovely chatting with you, and I've learned so much just chatting with you. I'm going to try to incorporate it definitely in what I do, and I will be sharing this on my IGTV. Thank you for joining us for our chat today this evening.
It was a pleasure, Shan, and continue doing this great platform. It's so wonderful. I love seeing your IGTVs. You get amazing people, and there's always so much to learn from your energy. And hats off to your energy. I hope this energy continues, honestly. So keep up the great work that you're doing and the healthy diet that you have started. So definitely
I really
keep it going.
For sure. Yes. Thank you so much.
It will. Now it's become a lifestyle.
It'll become a lifestyle. It'll become a lifestyle. That's exactly it. And I hope that everyone does see your IGTVs as well and cook along with you. Please DM Manjri and tell her what you think. And if there's anything that you want to ask her, just DM her on BigPlateSmallPlate. And she's very approachable and has lots of yummy recipes. And let's give a shout out to Malini Auntie who's here as well and watch the whole thing.
Yes.
Who
put us together. Yes. Thank you, Chachi.
So thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you to all the viewers. Yeah. Thank you for watching this patiently, for all your questions. I think everyone was very, very, engaged. So I'm very happy and blessed.
Awesome. And I'm going to share this. So Manjri, hope to see you when you're in Bombay and hope that's soon. So take care of yourself.
Definitely. Take care. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good evening. Bye.